Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the People Person podcast hosted by Good Time Media. I am your host, Wyatt Metzger. As always, today I welcome on a very special guest, Miss Theyre Thomas. How are we doing? Did I get that right? Taylor, is that your last name?
Yep, that is it. You got it
Okay.
right.
Easy. I felt like it was easy enough, but I always get worried I'm going to
Yeah.
screw people's names up. That's like my biggest fear is messing up someone's name and then they don't correct me because
Yep,
I'm
completely
I'm the
understandable.
person who wouldn't correct someone if they messed up my name. I would just let them go.
Same. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm glad. All right. Glad we got that right. But I
Yep.
ran
Perfect.
across your music on TikTok a while ago. So first of all, how are you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So far, so good. It's been a good day. Pretty nonchalant day. But um, first question I wanted to ask you, I've been actually wanting to ask you for a while because I found your music, I want to say probably over a year ago.
What?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's the one video, which we'll get into. The 5 years
Okay.
ago one or 5 years
Uh-huh.
from now. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yep.
But I want to know like how are you just like sad all the time? And I don't mean that in a mean way, but like are you okay? This is a safe space.
I'm okay. Um,
Good.
I get that question so often. People have like called me sometimes after I release songs and they're like, are you okay? Like, do you need to
Yeah.
talk? Do you need help? I'm like, no, I'm totally fine. I just love being dramatic.
I like that.
And that's like songs are a great outlet. It's very therapeutic for me. So when I'm like sad, and if I'm just a little bit sad, I will turn it into this huge thing and just
Oh,
like over dramatize it. And yeah, then
so
you have a song.
yeah. So like sadness is your superpower.
Yeah, yes, I
Yeah,
love that.
that's awesome. That's a great superpower to have.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people are just sad and they can't use it. You use it.
right.
Boom.
I
Yeah.
can use it, and I'll throw it in your face too, and make you just as sad as I am.
So how long have you been writing music? And I want to ask in two parts. How long you've been writing and how long have you been singing? Or is it the same
Oh,
time?
I've been writing songs ever since I was 7. Um, Obviously, my first songs aren't amazing, but they're songs. Yeah, so I started writing when I was 7 because I was obsessed with Hannah Montana and she wrote songs. I was like, I want to do that. But then my parents always told me that I was singing before I could even speak words.
Wow.
So I guess I've just been singing like my whole life. I just always loved it. And then songwriting just kind of
Yeah.
came with that. And I've always wanted to like be Taylor Swift, like just be
Just be
her.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's it.
I
That's the
mean,
goal in
same.
life.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. See, you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with every song I write, I'm like, maybe now I'm like closer to being Taylor Swift.
Fair enough. If you could only do one for the rest of your life, write songs or
Mm.
sing songs, which would you choose? That's like picking your favorite kid.
Yeah, that's really hard. That kind of hurts my heart a little
Yeah.
bit. But probably write songs because I feel like I'm way better at writing songs than I am at singing, and I just love writing songs. Like,
Mhm.
so yeah, I would never give that up.
At what point did you start? Because I feel like I got the vibe where like you didn't really initially think about like, oh, I'm going to put this out there and I want people to see it. It was kind of almost like you said, therapeutic. You're doing it for yourself. At what point
Hmm.
did you start letting people hear what you were doing?
Um, oh, this is actually like embarrassing, but when I first got TikTok, I posted like comedy videos, but they weren't really comedy. They're just weird. Like when I
Yeah.
watch them back now, I'm like, oh my gosh,
Well,
I'm
that's
so
that's my
embarrassing.
that's my content on TikTok now. It's just weird. I try to be funny,
Right?
but it's just weird.
Yeah, you like try to be funny, but then when you
Yeah,
watch it back, and
it's
you're just
weird.
like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started with that. There's a video of I was literally taking out the trash and it got over 10 million views. I was like,
Damn.
what? But I gained a lot of followers from that. And I was just like, what am I like? I'm posting all these pointless videos. Like, what am I doing? So I was like, you know what? Since more people watch my videos now, I get more views. Maybe I'll just throw out a song that I did.
Yeah.
So I did, and it didn't get received well. I was like, all right, that was a flop. Never posting my music again. But then I tried again, and a lot of people liked it. And I was like, you know what? This is what I'm going to stop doing. So I shifted from like terrible, embarrassing comedy videos to
Gotcha.
music.
It's natural transition, comedy to music. Yeah, as
Yep.
one does.
Yep, very smooth.
Were you like showing your friends and your family stuff before you put it online?
No.
Okay.
Like a lot of my friends were kind of just like, wait, you write songs? I was like, yep. And obviously my parents knew that like I love writing music, like I just love music in general, but they didn't know really like how many songs I actually write like daily
Mhm.
until I started posting like every single day on TikTok. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're like serious about this. This is something you actually like want to do."
Yeah, that's like a trend I've noticed a lot, and like a couple songwriters as well have come on here and said the same thing. And like I get that, where it's almost easier to show like be vulnerable in front of random people on the internet, like strangers,
Yes.
than is your friends and your family. Which it's so different. It's so hard to explain to people because it's always been the notion where like, oh, the internet's a super negative place. Like, how do you handle with like hate comments from random people? It's like that's the easy part, I think. It's like the
Oh, yeah.
judgment from like friends and family is the harder part, which is so like
Yes.
it's so backwards on what you'd expect. Like, oh, like these random people trash you or whatever, like expecting hate comments. But it's so much harder to like be vulnerable, like people you see every day. It's easy to just throw stuff
Yes.
out there on the internet, hoping no one sees it. It's tough.
100%. That's why I get so scared. Because obviously I get tons of comments on, and I love that. Like,
Mhm.
that's so nice because, but I don't know these people and I love it. But then there's obviously occasionally people that I know will comment on them. I'm like, oh, this is so
Yeah.
embarrassing. Like,
Yep.
no, these people that I know are like, because my songs are super personal. So I was like, oh my gosh, they know too much about me. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want them knowing that part of me.
Yeah, like a random person will say, "Oh, I love this," and it's like, "Oh, that like made my day." But if like someone I went to high school with was like, "Oh, I love this," said the same comment, I'd be like, "Oh
Traumatizing.
no, like they're being sarcastic, they're making fun of me, like
Yes.
shit, my life is over." Like
Yes, that's
it's
the
so
initial
weird.
thought.
Yeah, every time that like there's no way they actually like what I'm doing. There's no way they're being
Yeah.
genuine, which is
I'm
such
like,
a
oh, this is
maybe it's
definitely being
us.
sent in like a group chat. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're like trash talking me. Like, this is not good.
I hope that's just like an us thing where we're like just maybe pessimistic at heart and we're just like we assume the worst. We maybe
Maybe.
but I feel like
Like,
that's been the
we just think the
consensus.
exact same.
Yeah. Hopefully for the sake of everyone else listening, no one else thinks like that. But I
Yeah.
have a good feeling that
It's
everyone's
just
like
us.
us. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
us suffering through it together.
Yeah.
Have you so you say your songs are like pretty personal. How personal? Like are these the details in your song? Very detailed, very like elaborate storytelling. Is it like
Mhm.
100% like this is just my life?
Yeah, actually.
Really?
There's obviously like some songs where I'll exaggerate. Actually, most of my songs I exaggerate, but like the story when I'm storytelling, everything basically happened.
Whoa.
So
That's not what I expected. Because most people are like, oh, I take bits and pieces of this, but like, wow. So like
no,
that's tough. That's even hard. Like I can't imagine.
yeah.
All right, let's get specifics then. The 5 years from now song.
Mhm.
That's the first one I found, and I'm not gonna lie, I saw it. I think you posted it in like the dead of winter, which like
Yeah, for
not
sure.
fun. Thanks for doing that one. It's like depression
Sorry.
time. And then I see that like
I
late at
don't
night on TikTok, and I end up watching this full like 4 minute video, and I immediately run in. I show my roommate. I'm like almost on the verge of tears. I'm like, you have to watch this video. I make her watch the whole video. She's like, holy shit, like that. That is just
oh my gosh.
traumatizing, but in a good way. In a good way. But that song, very specific, very like
Yeah.
elaborate storytelling. But that all
And
happened, or is like an idea of what might happen.
that was so that whole song, the premise is like, or the first half
Yeah,
is kind of, just breaking down what happened. You treated me bad, boo hoo, but I still love you. That
yeah,
kind of sad thing. So in the end is me coming up with this scenario in my head because that's what I do. Like, before I go to sleep, I'll just come up with scenarios in my head, and that's how I stay sane. I feel like I just live inside my head. And so
you're
one
talking to the
day,
right person here. That's the exact like. Yeah,
I
I
love
got it.
it.
I got you.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't think I'm crazy, you understand.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what, maybe 5 years from now, this will happen, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So I just like that was an exact scenario I had in my head. And I was like, I'm gonna turn this pathetic thought that I had into a song.
I'm assuming, so this is about one person.
Mm-hmm.
Does that person, I'm assuming that person knows it's about them.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been conversations with this person about this song?
There indeed has.
Oh boy, how did that
Mm-hmm.
go? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, I always go into panic mode because since I write so specifically, obviously if the guy hears it, they're gonna be like, oh, that's totally about me.
Yeah.
And he addressed it to me in person,
Oh
and I just
no.
went into denial mode. I was like, no, that's not true. But you can only deny for so
Yeah.
long because the lyrics are so specific. So then kind of I was just like, okay, you won. It's about you. And that was like the end of the conversation. I was just like really embarrassed. And I was like, yep, we're not talking about this anymore.
Damn. I want a situation where this guy loses. No, are you always on good terms? No. So that's a no. That's a no. That's 100% a no. That was the most blatant no you could have given. So I mean, like this guy, my listeners will kill for me. So like, no, they won't. Probably not. They actually hate me. But anyways,
that's really good. I love that for you.
It's a bad dynamic I've created here where I'm so sarcastic and self-deprecating where they kind of piggyback on it. And so I've created a cycle I can't get out of. But anyways, I think they'll go to bat for me sometimes. So if we need to do something like maybe rough this kid up a little bit, we can.
Okay.
Is that needed?
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Honestly.
Can you imagine? We'll track this guy down. If he's listening right now, you've been warned. But that's okay.
Love it.
Like that actually surprises me that all these songs are like, because they are so specific. They're very like, again, you've built this like, it's a specific story, but it also like is almost like universally relatable in a way. Like I listened to the song and I'm like, that exact situation hasn't happened, but like I relate it to something else. So like,
right.
I don't know. Do you think about like, when you're writing, is it more like for you and then maybe other people relate to it? Or are you trying to think of ways to relate to other people? Or like, is this just like therapeutic for myself? And then if other people like it, they like it. That probably didn't make sense, but if it did.
No, it makes sense. And I feel like my answer might not make sense because I feel like before I started posting on TikTok, I would write for other people before I even knew that people would listen. Like I would write as if I was writing for other people. So I feel like I would make my songs more generic, just your basic heartbreak songs or whatever I was writing about. But now, since I've gotten such like positive feedback on my songs and I know people are actually listening to like what I have to say, I feel like I've started writing more for me because I'm realizing that even though my songs are so like specific to me, people still somehow like they love the specificity of it and they can relate. Like I feel like they relate to the songs more when they're more specific to me. So I kind of write exactly what's in my head and everyone like seems to like it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's cool because like it's something with like that kind of songwriting at least appeals to me in a way where it's like there's so many like details and like you can replace the details with parts of like my life. Like I can fill in a certain name or a time or a day, like stuff like that. You can fill it in. And again, it feels like, all right, since you are telling something that happened to you, it feels like you are telling something that is very real and very genuine. So I think that's probably it where like just appeals to most people. Question about the length of it. It's a rather long song. Did you memorize? How long did it take you like just like to memorize that all? Because when I watched that video back right before this, because I like to listen to the music before of someone who's coming on beforehand. Never works out well because I'm like that was sad. Now I'm just sad coming in, so the energy was low.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, all good, all good. Did you memorize all of that? Did you have it written down like on the piano right there, or like did you just off the dome?
I memorized it because before I will record it on TikTok, like when I'm writing a song, I have it on my voice memos. And I spent such a long time writing that stupid song. Like I wrote it in parts, like literally line by line, just like breaking down the story kind of. But I like just played it so much, just like trying to piece it all the lines together that I probably had memorized like in less than 30 minutes.
Jeez. That's impressive.
I'm, like in my head, I'm just like, oh, I'm just reciting the story.
Yeah, it's like a monologue.
Yeah, it really, honestly.
Did you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
What the fuck? How are you 19 and writing like that? That's stupid. That's stupid. Did your English teachers love you growing up? I bet you were just writing poems out the wazoo. Like,
I was. English was always my like best subject.
duh. Yeah.
So.
Duh. No shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So like, again, I don't know. When you're writing, when it's a song that long, are you thinking like, oh, I need to cut stuff out? Are you just gonna write till the stories you think the story's told, and then wherever it ends, it ends? I'm not gonna cut anything. I don't care if it's because you have like a 9-minute song too. That's like crazy. So do you just like
That's
write and be like,
insane.
I'm not cutting anything. Like this is my cut. It's almost like a director's cut of a movie where like you don't cut it down. Are you just
That's such a great way to look at it.
Yeah, it's your director's cut. Do you ever think about like, oh, maybe I should trim this, or what's that process like discussion?
Yeah, I definitely, or because I just write. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna write until I'm done. But I never realized how long, like how much I'm actually writing until I record it all together. I'm like, oh wow, like the 9-minute song. At first, it was like a little over 7 minutes, and I was like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, I need to cut some parts out. But then I was like, well, if I cut parts out, then the whole story isn't being told. And when I posted it online, I was like, oh, this is 7 minutes. And everyone was like, make it longer. Like, we want more of the story. I was like, oh. So then I added 2 whole more minutes to the song. And now it's like every day I get like hundreds of DMs, like thousands of comments just saying, oh, we want the 9-minute song, like blah, blah, blah. Like every time I post a new song, be like, this is good, but we want the 9-minute song.
Yeah. That's impressive. Like I don't think like it can be overstated how impressive that is, because think of how like low or small people's attention spans are nowadays. Like TikTok itself is like 5. If you don't have your attention in 5 seconds, scroll.
Exactly.
The fact that you can grab people's attention for like and willing to listen to 9 minutes of you, like this podcast will probably be like 30, 45 minutes. I'm lucky if people listen to 5 minutes of it. I'll put clips out there, but like they're not listening to the whole thing. That's just the way people consume media now. So it's really impressive that people are willing to like and want to listen to like 9 minutes straight. Like give me all of it. So I think that can't be overstated. That's impressive.
It's insane. I mean, me singing the song just on the piano, I get bored. I'm like, all right, this is going on for too long.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah. But people love it. I'm like, okay, you freaking weirdos.
Do you get like winded like halfway through? You're like, all right, pause, halftime,
yeah,
break.
I used to like when I would sing because I would sing like the whole song on my like TikTok lives or something. And at first that song made me really emotional. So like throughout the middle, I would literally just like start crying and stuff. And so for the last half of the song, I'd be like I could barely get through it.
Yeah.
So that was a rough little patch. But now I'm not affected by the person who wrote about it at all. So I just feel nothing when I'm singing it, which I feel like is more of a problem because since I feel nothing, I'm just like every time I'm about to say another line, I'm like, here we go. 7 more minutes
maybe
left.
find a happy medium in there, like somewhere in between. That's what you need.
Exactly.
Oh shoot, I just had something. Oh yeah, so the last person I had on the podcast, Sierra, songwriter, Nashville, whatever. We were talking about how she forgets her lyrics sometimes when she's performing live, and so I had this idea for her to like when she forgets her lyrics, just keep strumming and then play an ad verbally, like she can promote this podcast and be like, everyone go listen to the People Person podcast. It's a great listen. And then once she remembers, go back in the songs. Maybe when you release the 9-minute cut right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle, do like a 30-second ad for this podcast. So I
love it.
Yeah. So it's a verbal ad. It's like, so people can get a break. People are used to ads anyways. They're watching YouTube all the time. So they're just listening on Apple or Spotify, and all of a sudden they're like, this song is the second half of this song is brought to you by the People Person podcast. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a great idea. And you know what? When I'm performing it like live, I can keep it in there. So no matter what, when people hear that song, they're gonna think of you.
Oh, I don't. Let me think about the song again. I don't know if I want them to think of me.
Maybe not that.
Scratch that. Yeah. Don't think of me. Yeah. We'll pick a different song. We'll find a different song to do the verbal ad. One maybe a little more upbeat. Do you ever plan on writing like, I don't know, happy songs?
a guy is just gonna have to come into my life and treat me good. That's what it's gonna take.
All right, boys. You heard it. You heard it here
Yeah.
first. If you're listening,
Where are the good ones?
well, honestly, it's a win-win for you. No, like obviously, you hope that guy comes, treats you, but if he doesn't, then all of a sudden you got a hit song.
Yeah.
You
See,
can't
like
lose.
a lot of people, like my best friend told me the other day, he was like, I really want you to be happy, but if you're happy, I think that your songs would suck.
Oh man.
Okay.
It's like, I want you to be happy, but like I need another song.
Yeah.
We need a hit. Go out there, get your heart broken.
The next song I'm gonna be releasing is like, it's upbeat. It's not about like a boy breaking my heart.
That's good. It's about like your dog dying or something, right?
No, it's about me being pathetic.
Okay.
But it's upbeat, so you can like, maybe the lyrics are a little bit not happy, but you can at least bop to it.
Okay, I like that. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Obviously, you wrote a whole song about that situation.
Wow.
But where do you think you're gonna be?
I really hope that wherever I am, I'm somewhere doing music. Preferably Nashville. Love Nashville. Hoping to like move there relatively
Well, I know
soon.
some people now. I'll set you up. We'll make dreams happen here.
That is perfect.
There we go. Wait, where are you from originally? Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, it's cool. I don't know how far away that is from Nashville. Couple hours?
It's like a 7-hour drive.
Oh, that's farther than I thought. Is Charlotte
pretty far?
East or west? Like further east coast or like more inward? Towards the ocean or away from the ocean?
Like it's more away-ish.
Okay, good. Like, more away-ish. That helps.
I'm not good with geography.
Okay, further west.
Further west.
Southwest.
Southwest.
Gotcha. Cool. This is us figuring out directions. That was nice. But
I don't know. That could totally be a lie. I have no idea. Like
I'm actually okay. You've continued to explain where you're gonna be in 5 years. I want details, just like your songs. Make it up.
Wow.
Come on.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna look up where Charlotte is.
Okay. 5 years from now, I hope I'm doing music in Nashville. Maybe I'll end up in New York or LA. Who knows where life will take me. Hopefully I've met a guy that will treat me right, and maybe I'll have happy songs by then. Hopefully I will have met Taylor Swift. That's just the end goal. Once I meet Taylor Swift, I can be done with everything. Like I don't care. Yeah. Like my life is literally everything is fulfilled at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. You nailed the Charlotte, by the way. It is Southwest. Good call.
Really?
Yeah, you killed
wow.
it. No, I forgot how like not horizontal North Carolina is, so it's a tough state to directionify, I guess.
I'm so proud of myself for that.
Yeah, you kind of killed that. Good job.
Thank you.
Have you performed like live at all?
Yes, but I haven't since I was a freshman in high school. I actually went on tour.
What?
Yeah, I went on tour with it was called Rock Your Hair. It was like a Rock Your Hair tour with all these kids from Hollywood, which I mean I had never heard of them, but I also wasn't cultured at all at the time. But they had like, millions of followers, whatever, and they just went on tour, and I got the opportunity to go on tour with them. So I opened up.
How are we just now getting to this? What do you
like? One of those things that I like keep suppressed.
Why? That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's just, I was like a freshman. The songs that I were singing, not the most amazing songs I've ever written, but it was still so cool. Like I got to perform and go on to these cities.
Where did you travel to? Like, where was this tour?
Well, I went on like the only the last dates of their tour. So I performed at Atlanta, and then Columbus, Ohio, and then in Anaheim, California. Just was the last show.
Damn. Yeah. That's sick.
Yeah. So it was like my first time ever going to California, like LA, and I was there to open up for a concert. So
damn. That's sweet. Are you how do you feel about your live performance? Do you get nervous a lot, or do you have to like prep yourself, or are you just like this is easy? It's like riding a bike.
Definitely not. Not like riding a bike. This was what, like 5 years ago, but I just remember wanting to throw up, like almost blacking out before I went on stage every night. So I don't even remember it well, if I'm being honest. I
Fair
just
enough.
remember that once I was on stage, I loved it. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. But then as soon as I walk off the stage, I'm like, oh my gosh, like about to have a panic attack. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I just did that. That was the scariest thing I've ever done. But like once I'm actually there doing it, I'm like, oh, this is so great.
Yeah, it's like in the
And
moment.
now, yeah, in the moment, it's the best thing ever. And I feel like now, which I'm not planning on going on tour anytime soon because I feel like you have to, be
Wait
a little bit bigger.
till the bump from this podcast comes up. You'll be on tour in like
Yeah,
3 months.
like after this, I'm going to be Taylor Swift level.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
right
it's
after
what we
this
do.
podcast.
It's the good time bump. It's what we do.
Exactly. But I feel like I would have a lot more fun performing when the people are there and they actually know my songs.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited. A lot of people have been saying like, oh, come to this city. Like we want to, do like a small little concert. I was like, that would honestly be fun. Like even if it's just a small little thing, just to sing my songs. And then thinking about people knowing the words to my songs, mind-boggling. Absolutely the craziest thing ever.
I've always said, well, we do a thing here on our morning show. On every Tuesday, we do top 10 Tuesdays. And a while ago, I think last summer, we did top 10 feelings. And I put a crowd singing your words back to you, as it has to be a top 10 feeling of all time. Like, I can't
100%.
even imagine like a stadium full of people. Like, imagine like big names. Taylor Swift's out there. And then like she just put the mic out and everyone's singing her words back. Like, I can't even imagine what that feeling would be like. I can't sing. I don't sing. I have no musical talent whatsoever, but I want that feeling somehow.
Yeah,
like,
no, every
crazy.
time I see videos, full body chills.
Like every single time.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. I wish I was musically talented so bad. Cause like I my TikTok is only like singer-songwriter TikTok. That's all I see. That's like all I follow. And I just like, I don't have a musical bone in my body, but I just enjoy it and I appreciate it a bunch. And I think I have the persona of someone who would do good as a musician, but I just don't have the talent. Unfortunately, it's not there.
No, whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
Don't do that. Don't open that door. I've closed that door a long time ago.
I won't
don't even think about it, because I will. Because you give me an inch, I'll take a mile. So don't you do that.
Don't ever think about doing music.
Never. Thank you. I need that. That's the kind of energy I need. This is
That's
why this is why all my fans hate me. This is why all the listeners hate me, because I just sit here and say, hey, tell me I'm terrible, please.
I'm here to discourage you.
Yeah, literally. All right, a few more questions here. If you are going on tour hypothetically 5 years from now, who is opening up for you? Who's your dream opener?
Wow, that's a really good question.
You can't say Taylor Swift, because I'm gonna say, no offense, I'm gonna say she's probably out. She's probably busy.
Yeah.
But everyone else is
probably. Okay. I think for me, someone to open up for me, I feel like Olivia Rodrigo would be good. And the ball. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm a huge O-Rod fan. O-Rod's my girl.
Love her. Like all of her songs, and like she's very. I feel like the way we write songs is very similar. So I feel like it would just make sense.
Yeah. Driver's License is. I would have been shocked if you wrote Driver's License. You're right. It's very similar, like songwriting style.
Thank you.
And I mean
so
that.
much.
And I mean that. Just from the heart. Yeah.
Wow, that means so much.
But no, I love O-Rod. O-Rod's fantastic.
Yeah, she's insane.
If you could open up for someone, and you can't say O-Rod now, another one you compliment. You're going backwards. Sorry, I went backwards here. I should have gone opener first, then headliner. But now you're going backwards, and now you're opening up for someone.
All right. Am I allowed to say Taylor Swift?
No.
Oh.
Because I don't. Let's be honest. You're too big of a fan. Where if you open up for Taylor Swift, you'd almost be too nervous. I don't think you could. I'm getting the
That is
vibe.
honestly so
I'm
true.
getting the vibe you wouldn't be able to function much around her.
No.
So I'm looking out for you and your best
Thank
interest.
you.
It's probably not
because
good.
obviously I'm not. Yeah. Okay, let me think. I think opening for like Harry Styles would be really cool. I feel like that could be really fun. I'm an OG One Direction fan.
Okay, yeah, that's a good answer.
I'm just trying to like think. Or a lot of the people I like are just kind of like smaller, not small, but smaller.
Plug them, give them some airtime.
Let's see, like Conan Gray.
Conan Gray's not small. What are you talking about?
Okay, I would love to open for Conan.
Like, oh, I know some small indie artists like
It's
Conan
like because
Gray.
in my head, he's because I knew him when he just made little YouTube videos.
Okay,
and now
fair.
he's
So
like
you followed him for a while, yeah.
Yeah, so like,
that's how I am with Zach Bryan. So a big country star now. I've been following Zach Bryan for years, like before he released anything, and then all of a sudden everyone loves Zach Bryan, and I'm like, to me, he's still like, just like my little bubble. I want to put him in a box and keep him to myself, but like it's kind of awesome. Yeah. I'm so happy for him, but like jealous.
He has blown up.
Nuts. It's crazy. But American Heartbreak's my favorite album of the year. It's so good. But that's besides the point. So Conan Gray, you're a small artist.
Conan Gray, Gracie Abrams.
Let's just name big stars. Cool.
They're like, it's so like in my head, they will always be like a smaller artist.
Okay.
Even though they're like not.
Is there anyone? Okay, how about this? Is there anyone on TikTok that you've met through TikTok or just like through that whole field that you think deserves more credit?
I've met Will Cullen.
He sounds familiar.
He's awesome. You should definitely look him up. I'm just gonna plug him. I met him when I went to Nashville. There we go. My light. Yeah, I met him when I was in Nashville.
Okay.
He's awesome. He definitely deserves more recognition. I mean, he already has like a lot of recognition on TikTok, but he needs more. Let me think. I love like Maisie Peters. She's awesome.
Good one. She's great.
Tate McRae.
Yeah. Okay. I saw she commented on one of your videos.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I was like, hey, that felt like crazy. Because I saw like, I was just scrolling through my comments and I see a verified check. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's Tate McRae. Like she has so many great sad songs that I listen to. Yeah. She's top of like sad girl music. Yeah. She kills it. And I love it. I relate to her very much. Will is like the only person from TikTok that I've actually met. And we like made videos together. Yeah. But like there's so many talented like songwriters on TikTok at this point. Like it's insane. That's my entire For You page and I love it. I just like find my music through TikTok. Yes. That's literally how I find new music, which me too. I'm that guy who likes to annoy people. And so every time a song goes like it's big and then someone will play it in the car, I'm like, oh, it's that song from TikTok. And they're like, no, it's just a song, dude. Like not everything's a TikTok song. I'm like, it's really funny to piss people off. Like, oh, it's a TikTok song. But no, like I find my new music through TikTok. Same way. Yeah. It's crazy. How here's another question. How do you when you find new music, what's your like playlist I don't know, strategy? How do you like organize music you find and how do you listen to it? Like on TikTok or just on Spotify? Are you Spotify or Apple Music first? Well, I have both, but pick one. I use Apple Music more. Good answer. I'm an Apple Music guy through and through. Okay, good answer. So like do you have playlists for like certain genres, certain moods? What's like the strategy there? Normally moods, I guess, but more specifically, I will call them like the exact feeling, like how someone made me feel. I will like type out that feeling, like whoa, the whole like. I have a playlist called "You Built It Up So Nice, Didn't You?" because that's like a lyric in my song, and I was like, I can make a playlist out of that. So just a bunch of songs about someone making you think that they're in it, and then they're not. They're not, so like very specific. My playlists are very specific.
Okay, I like that. I like I've said this before the podcast, so I'll kind of brush over it, but I have one playlist with my most recent 100 songs that I found that I like. And so every time I find a new song, I add it to that playlist and then I remove the oldest one on it. So there's always 100 songs. So I always like, because I'm very like recency bias. If I find a song, I want to listen to it like over and over again. So I have that 100 songs of like most recent songs I found. And when I remove songs, I like file them like a filing cabinet by year and by genre. So now I can go back. I've done it for like 5 years now. I can go back and listen to all my favorite country songs from 2018. And it's a weird time capsule. It like puts me back in that mood from 2018. So I want to patent it. I want to make an app out of it somehow, but like, I think I should patent it because it's one of the most things I'm proudest of. My filings.
Yeah, no, I've never heard that before, but that's genius.
Yeah, it kind of happened like randomly, but I'm very proud of it, which is why I keep plugging on podcasts. I gotta stop doing that. Every time I have a songwriter like someone on here, I always plug it, and I'm like, I gotta stop doing that, but I do it every time. It's stupid of me, but anyway.
No, it's a great idea.
Okay, 2 more questions. One. If your music could be the soundtrack to any movie, what would you like it to be? And you can go about this 2 ways. You can either think my music fits this movie, or I like this movie, I want to write more different music for it. So you can go about it either way. But what do you want to, what combo do you want to do?
Wow. Okay. Well, I think recently I've seen this movie. I watched this movie every night for the past 3 nights. But it's called Someone Great. It's on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay, yeah. And I just feel like the overall vibes super sad, and she like gives this really great monologue at the end, which I actually just wrote a song kind of like based off of the monologue-ish, like the kind of same concept. And I think it's like the greatest monologue in like all of movie history because it's so like poetic, and obviously songwriter.
That's an aggressive statement, but I'll allow it. Most effective like monologue in movie history.
Yep, movie history.
All right, well, that's a clip. That's going on TikTok. You're gonna get flamed for that one. But anyways,
so much hate.
So you got that movie. I think. Have you seen the movie About Time?
No. What is that?
It's a rom-com. I believe it's still on Netflix. It's my favorite rom-com of all time. It's incredible. It sounds dumb. The premise sounds dumb, but like basically all the men in this family have had the ability to time travel. And like it sounds like a stupid whatever rom-com, but it's actually really good. It's the best rom-com I've ever found. Rachel McAdams is in it. Margot Robbie actually has a small role in it. But ideally you should go watch it 100%. And then let me know. But because I think your music would fit perfectly in this movie. I think it kind of lines up. I think it would be a really good fit. So definitely watch that movie and then let me know what you think.
I definitely will.
Yeah. And then finally, last question I have for you. I asked this to everyone who comes on. You can answer it however you want, whatever comes to mind. But what gets you up in the morning?
Thinking about coffee. That's really
thinking about coffee, not even coffee.
Just thinking about it. I'm like, yep, gotta get up and gotta go get me some.
I like that because some people will say coffee, and I'm like, but I'm a proponent of like just the idea of thinking of coffee, even making a cup of coffee and not even drinking it has the same effect to me. I think it's a mental thing. I can make a full cup of coffee. This right here, this is like 3/4 full. I had this morning in the morning show, but I felt fully caffeinated. Like I made a full cup and I'm like, I'm good to go once I make it.
I made this like a long time ago and it's still like pretty full, but I'm fine. Yeah. Like I'm energized. I'm feeling great.
Wow. We're like the same person. This is cool.
I know.
Who would have thought? Well,
I know.
Thank you for coming on. Unless do you have any questions for me? I've never asked that before. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, wait, this is fun.
I don't know what made me do that. I've never asked anyone to ask me questions.
Oh, well, since I know you're a coffee drinker and coffee is very it's an important part of my personality. Where's your favorite coffee place ever?
People are gonna think this is a plug because we just got sponsored by a coffee company. So people are gonna think I paid you to say this, but
I promise that this is not
that was crazy.
This is not pre-planned.
So shout out. Let's see if I don't have it sitting around here, but shout out to Java House. It's a local. I'm from Indiana, Indianapolis area. Java House has the best coffee in the world. I drink it every single morning. There's Java House coffee in here. They set me up. Lot of good coffee. It's the best coffee in the world. It's so good. It's cold brew. If you want to go buy some, www.javahouse.com, promo code goodtime10, you get 10% off. Shameless plug. I had to do it. That's crazy because I was gonna have to put this plug in later in the podcast, but now I can just have it here. But Java House, best coffee in the world. It's incredible. I've never had better coffee. So definitely, if you're ever in Indy, you got to get Java House.
I'm gonna add that to my bucket list.
Where's your favorite place?
Well, every day I get Starbucks because it's super basic, but there's a local coffee shop in North Carolina. It's called Brakeman's, and it never disappoints. It's amazing. Like heaven in a cup is what it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's
really
awesome.
great. Love the local coffee shops.
You love them. You got to support them. Well, thank you, Taylor, so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.